During a very long process of hearing from all the various candidates, and I've heard some interesting things tonight from several of the other candidates, and I like that we versus I, and how government really works. You know, every one of us that are seeking elected office here, as I did for mayor back in '05, was to first of all understand who it is that hires us, who our boss is. And our boss is sitting out here right now. And you are the people that make the decision, and we are liaisons and advocates to you for this district. You know, liberty, that's liberty. I think we all agree. Liberty really truly is about our freedom. Our freedom that the Constitution provides us to, pursue happiness, the right to, live in this country, as long as we don't bring harm to our neighbors. You know, it's very interesting today when we listen to a lot of the campaigns going on. Again, like I said, man, if you elect me, I'm going to fix everything that's wrong with the border. Well, if you elect me, I'm going to fix this immigration problem. Hey, ISIS, no problem. I got them covered. I'm going to fix them too. Listen, yesterday in my church, we listened to gospel by Luke talking about the one body. You know, if somebody drops a lead weight on their toe and smashes their toe, the rest of their body hurts for quite a while, doesn't it? And that sore toe can cause the rest of your body to shut down. Same thing in government, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't work together, we can't get the job done. You know, I do have a record, unlike my opponent, doesn't have a record. Now, I like before I was considered a recycled politician. I got a recycled candidate running again. But I'm here to tell you right now, I do have a record. And as mayor, we had no new taxes as mayor. Okay, with the exception of voter-approved taxes. And the voters have the right, in my opinion, to decide what they want their city government, their county government, and their state government, and their federal government to provide for them. As long as they go out and vote, it's their right. As mayor, our city worked within its means. I provided a brand new box of number 2 pencils at the beginning of every budget cycle to the city manager. And I sharpened them myself. And you make sure we're going to work with the monies that we have coming in. We're not going to reach over here to our reserves, which, by the way, as mayor, go back and look at the record of the reserves that we left in place. Plus, we had a AA- rating as a city, which meant very competitive rates of interest we paid on the voter-approved bonds. I worked real close with citizens. I probably am known as the task force mayor because we brought citizens together. My job as mayor was to bring people together to work toward common solutions to problems. And that is what we do as elected officials. I personally don't believe that I'm the smartest man in the room talking to you about what you ought to be doing. You know what you need to be doing. Smart people know what's best for their kids, what's best for them. You don't need a bunch of people, elected people running for office telling you what you ought to do. Don't we have enough of that? We got so much fighting going on around this country, it's incredible. He talked about the gays versus the straights. We got race problems. We got problems all over this country, ladies and gentlemen, and we got problems right here. We know we need to fix our border. We know we got an immigration problem. We have an education problem in this state. We know we have to work on that. But right here, we have an economic development problem. How many more plants like U.S. Steel in Lone Star got to shut down? Ore City. 700 more jobs. More service companies in Longview, Kilgore, shutting down. How many of you in your business hasn't already seen the downturn in your business? Veterinarians, doctors. Those are the issues, ladies and gentlemen. We can haggle back and forth all we want. But at the doorsteps that we're talking, to the men and women that have children or relatives that don't have a job? Is that not the issue? They can't pay their insurance anymore or don't have insurance. So as your next state representative, I'm going to work in collaboration with all of the other reps in the region and the senator in the region. And the first thing we're going to do is have an economic development summit to pool resources, decide how we are going to, for once and for all, every time the oil field goes down, we all say, oh, we need to diversify our economy. All elected officials do that, Judge. We all talk about it. But it's time for us to act. And it's time for us to pool our resources. And it's time for us to bring technology into this region and not continue to depend on the oil field, because it is going to go up and it's going to go down. And we cannot depend on that, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of our lives. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity here.
Questions for the House District candidates?
We have two questions, which are both addressed to both candidates. Given the current House Speaker's record of blocking or stalling several popular important bills, if he is re-elected Speaker, what do you think is the best way to get conservative legislation enacted?
Thank you. So the question is, the current Speaker of the House, Joe Straus, blocks conservative legislation. First thing to do is try to stop him from getting reelected, and I will not support him under any circumstances. He puts Democrats in charge of your committees in the Texas House, despite the fact that you Republicans own 98 seats out of 150. If he should be reelected, what we do is we fight and we expose. We don't collaborate and cooperate. We fight aggressively, without compromise, without yielding, to stop him at every turn and to kill bad bills that he cares about.
I think the important thing is for us as a representative to be able to bring good legislation ourselves to the body. And that takes the ability to work with other people. And again, I think, I have a record of doing that. And I know that it takes a lot of hard work to visit and work with people, especially inside the district. First thing I want to make sure is what it is truly you see as the issue. And then to go to work very hard as your representative with other representatives in leadership to make sure that we get our day, at the session, in the legislature. The whole thing about, Speaker Straus, we don't know who is running for Speaker, and we won't know until session starts.
Okay. Is there another question?
Yes, this is somewhat related and perhaps at least mildly repetitious, but I will go ahead and ask it anyway, since you might want to elaborate on your last answer. It's actually two questions on one card. What is your opinion of House Speaker Joe Straus? Under what circumstances will you vote for Joe Straus? Mr. Watts has already answered the second question, but in case either one of you would like to elaborate.
Thank you. Joe Straus is a liberal obstructionist that would run as a Democrat in almost any other state. That's the truth about him. John Boehner was better. John Boehner wouldn't appoint Democrats to chair your committees. Joe Straus does. Will not vote for Joe Straus under any circumstances. Now, what Mr. Dean says is accurate to a point. We don't know who all is running, but we do know Joe Straus is running. He's announced he's running for re-election. He is running for re-election, and he's announced he will run again for Speaker of the House. So we know that much. We know enough to say we will not support Straus under any circumstances.
I think my opponent has made that absolutely clear. Last week at the Oakland Heights Baptist Church, I think it was recorded over 200 times that he used the speaker's name. I'm not running against the speaker. Okay, I think what we have to do is the process works, and the candidates will be presented to the House, And at that point in time, we will decide on a speaker. And as I've said from day one, my intention is to make sure that we have the most conservative speaker in the House, in leadership, that we can work with. And I will be very dependent on the voters and the residents of House District 7 on this issue as well as every other issue, because I believe, again, you are the people we represent. We are your advocates, we are your liaisons, and you're sending someone down to Austin to get things done for you and for our district, and that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.